Hello, in today's video we're going to be looking at a budget capture card, so let's do it! Roll titles! So yes, in this rather unassuming brown box, we've got a KUHAIMI. I'll put the name on the screen now. I think I've got it right. Capture card. Now, if you don't know what a capture card is, basically it takes a signal from, say, a camera or a console, and it allows you to feed it into a computer. And if you've ever seen me do streaming, that's what I use to get the signal from my Xbox onto the computer and then into a stream. So you need a capture card basically to get the signal into your computer. Now this retails at around about £150. I have seen it as low as sort of £99, which is really good value. Now this isn't an internal capture card, which is what I've got on the computer there. It's an external one. So in theory, you can plug this into a laptop, or you can just take it around and plug it into different computers. So long as it's got a USB 3 socket, it should work. So that's great. It means you don't have to take apart your computer to put it in or need a spare slot or anything like that. You just need a single USB 3 slot, which most computers will have. Perfect. So yeah, let's get it out of the box and we'll have a little chat about what it can do. So I've been sent this very kindly by the people at KUHAIMI for the purposes of a review. So I'm not being paid for this. I've literally been gifted the product, which I suppose is sort of payment, but I will give you my honest opinion of it. KUHAIMI do help better live streaming. Well, I hope they do. What have we got here? So we've got an HDMI cable, lovely. And we've got the product itself. 4K HD video capture. Every professional streamer needs a KUHAIMI. So let's zoom down and have a look at some of these specifications in a bit more detail. So I've got the HCA 25P model, HDMI input and loop out support for up to 4K 60 Hz. So basically it's got an HDMI input, so you plug your console in, and it's also got a loop through where it will feed the signal back to, say, a television or a monitor. It means that the signal will go into the capture card and also come out of the capture card, and it supports up to 4K at 60 Hz, which is pretty good, really. Record and preview up to 4K 30 Hz slash 1080p 120 Hz. So although it can output back to the TV at 4K 60 Hz or 60 frames per second, it can only record at a maximum of 4K 30 Hz or 30 frames per second. Or you can record at a 1080p 120 Hz. So that's 120 frames per second, which is great. Now, unfortunately, YouTube and I think Twitch don't support 120 frames per second footage yet, but you can record in it. So I mean, if you want to keep your gaming videos for posterity and upload them to YouTube when they support higher frame rates, then well, you can. So basically, the higher the frames, in theory, the smoother the footage. Now this is being recorded at 4K at 25 frames per second. When I play my Xbox on my TV, it's usually at 4K 60 frames per second. But yeah, you can get higher refresh rate monitors up to 120 Hz that will basically play the game more frames per second, and it just looks a bit smoother. Video capture format supports YUY2, RGB32 and MV12. They're just sort of color formats. Don't need to worry about that too much, but it's good that they support them. Support Android mobile phone capture, recording and streaming. Interesting. Support third-party software compatible with UVC and UAC protocol, such as OBS, other live stream platform software. I use a bit of software called OBS, and basically that controls all the inputs and outputs and what you see on the screen. So this is fully compatible with that, which is great. And it tells us the hardware requirements. I'm not going to read all of those out because I've already whittled on far too much, so just pause your screen now and have a look at those tasty requirements. So I guess what we've got to do now is get it out of the box and see what's what. Apparently, according to the Amazon listing, it's got sports car design. Ooh. Now, I have looked at a budget capture card before. That was a very budget capture card and it didn't end very well.
I think for gaming, this is possibly the worst thing I've ever purchased. Without question. That's all. I think it's absolutely dreadful.
I'll put a link to the video up in that corner. Yeah, I think this could literally just turn on and work and be better than that capture card. Looking forward to seeing the sports car design. Okay, do a satisfying plastic peel. Yeah, I mean, I think it could maybe do with being a bit more weighty. HDMI cables can be quite heavy, and I could feel this being flipped off the desk maybe, but it's not too bad. So we've got this sort of orangey red plastic finish. So it looks like we've got a headphone out, we've got the USB-C connector, this is how it plugs into your computer, and we've got a microphone input as well. And there we've got the HDMI in for the signal to go in, and then the HDMI out for it to come back out again, so you can plug it into the TV should you wish. It's fine. You know, looks okay. I think, as I say, I think you could do with maybe being a little bit heavier, because I think once you get cables into it, it will just like, ooh, that was, ooh. Right, what else is in the box? Okie dokie, so we've got a USB-C to a USB-A connector, and yeah, that's designed for USB 3 data transfer. And then we've got the user manual. So there you go, it shows you all the supported frame rates and resolution. So if you want sort of more details, you can just pause the screen. It also shows you how you should set it up, OBS, and the sound settings you need to use. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a pretty straightforward product. I think there are similar products like this available that use the same chipset. I've seen various different ones on Amazon, and I imagine with the same chipset inside them, they're probably pretty similar products. They might just look different on the outside, but yeah. So I suppose what we need to do now really is go over there, get it plugged in and set up in OBS, and see if we can get some gaming through it. So let's do that. Right, okay, so we're all plugged in. So what you can see on my screen now is OBS, and that is basically streaming / recording software. And this is where we manage the device and hopefully see my Xbox. Let's add the KUHAIMI. So it is a video capture device, and we will call it the KUHAIMI. So we've got to find it in the list of interfaces. I assume it's that one, the 4K USB 3 Capture Pro. And then, okay, so there we go. That's the list of resolutions available. Yep, there you go. It recognizes that it can support up to 120 Hertz. Nice. Right, okay, so let's do a little bit of recording in 1080p and see how it looks. Yeah, I mean, the video quality's looking pretty good. I'm just having a quick look at it on my monitor up there, and yeah, it looks perfectly good.
to the AO. Warm-up is over. Stand by for deployment to the war.
Yeah, looks great. I can't complain at all. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch up the recording to 4K and see if it looks any different. Now 4K, it won't be as smooth because it'll only have a maximum frame rate of 30 frames per second, which isn't ideal. But usually when you're streaming, you're not streaming at such high resolution, so you can have it at 1080p and stream it at 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second, and you'll still get that buttery smoothness. But obviously we're just not doing that here. Okay, so we're at 4K now. Allow HDR10? Yes, it does. Nice, cool. Right, so let's just jump back into Call of Duty. Yeah, I mean, you can't complain. The out of the box experience has been absolutely perfect. It's just kind of worked. I'm pretty impressed. Considering the terrible time I had working with a budget capture card previously, this has given me a little bit of faith. Yeah, I think my only sort of meh is the fact that I can't game at 4K at 60 Hertz. Well, I can, but I can't record that. It's knocked down to 30 Hertz. But as I say, if you're streaming, then you won't be knocking out that resolution anyway, because Twitch and YouTube don't really like 4K gaming at the moment. So yeah, it's a nice bit of kit. It's nice that it supports the HDR10 as well. That's fantastic.
Enemy soldier incoming. Hostile UAV in this sector. Hostile counter UAV overhead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm chasing after him. I don't have any good weaponry. I do have a helicopter, so, you know.
Active. Hostile UAV overhead. Важня, hostile deploy the counter UAV.
Actually, talking about streaming and stuff like that, I had a bit of an incident with my Stream Deck, which meant I lost all my settings, which has stopped me from streaming. I need to reset it all back up, but it's a bit of a bum ache, so that's why I haven't done it. Oh, hello. Nice. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by it all. It's worked really nicely. I mean, the look of it may be a slight acquired taste. It'd be good if there was some way of turning off the red LEDs. But you know, it's got sports car looks. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised, and it's good that it's USB powered, so you can, in theory, run it from a laptop if it's got a good enough spec, and if your computer doesn't have enough internal slots for a capture card, or you don't really want to go delving inside your computer, you can just plug this into a spare USB 3 slot and it will work perfectly. So there you go. A budget capture card can be good, and it certainly is. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you've got any questions about it, then please do put it in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer. I know a little bit about these things, so yeah, I will do my best for you. But I think that is it from me. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, it's game over.